In the top stories, two people have been arrested in connection with the murder of a St. Kitts and Nevis national in Dominica. Regionally, a Jamaican audit has found that less than 2% of Hurricane Melissa donations have been spent, and on the international scene, gunfire broke out today inside the Philippine Senate during an attempt to arrest a senator wanted by the ICC. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of May, and I am Jasmine Thomas. First on the local scene, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force has confirmed that a national of St. Kitts and Nevis was shot and killed in Dominica over the weekend. The incident occurred in the Pickard area on the 10th of May. Dominican police have since launched an active investigation into the homicide. Authorities there have also confirmed the arrest of two suspects, a man and a woman, in connection with the shooting. The victim, who was residing in Dominica, has been identified in some reports as a footballer, but her name has not been formally released. Police say earlier information does not suggest a link between the incident and any criminal matter. The RSCNPF says it is in contact with their Dominican counterparts as the investigation continues. The Ministry of Health says there are no confirmed or suspected cases of hantavirus in St. Christopher and Nevis. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws says the Federation's public health risk remains low, with no evidence of local exposure to the virus. Dr. Laws explained that the hantavirus is primarily carried by rodents and can be transmitted through contact with infected droppings, urine, saliva, or airborne particles.
Hantavirus is a zoonotic virus. What is zoonotic? What does that really mean? It means that it's a virus that normally infects animals, and it has the potential of infecting humans. So in this case, hantavirus usually infects wild rodents, rats, mice, and it has the potential of spilling over to human beings.
She added that there have been very few recorded cases of human-to-human transmission.
The literature or the latest evidence suggests that there is the Andean or the Andes strain of the hantavirus that is prevalent in South America. It has the potential of human-to-human transmission, and so persons who are, exposed to infected individuals, they run the risk of contracting the virus through prolonged, close contact or interaction.
Dr. Laws said the virus is not present in the Federation and that any potential risk would most likely be associated with travel to endemic areas. The Ministry of Health says it continues to monitor the situation through port health surveillance and other public health measures. Dr. Laws also confirmed that a recent case linked to the MV Honduras cruise ship did not result in the individual entering the Federation or creating a local exposure risk.
There are no suspected or confirmed cases of hantavirus in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we would have heard, we heard a number of news clippings over the past few days about a citizen of the Federation who was on the MV Honduras, that cruise ship, that is experiencing a cluster of cases. Now, the citizen has not entered the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Health officials say they will continue to monitor this situation. St. Kitts and Nevis will host the 31st biennial meeting and the conference of the Caribbean Nurses Organization in 2026. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Curtis Martin, confirmed that the event will take place at the St. Kitts Marriott from October 24 to the 1st of November.
I should also take this opportunity to let you know that in October we'll have the Caribbean Nurses Conference Association, Caribbean Nursing Conference here in St. Kitts from all the nursing association around the region. We'll be meeting in October and we're looking forward to that.
Martin said the Federation's selection to host the conference reflects confidence in its ability to deliver major regional events.
We're very, very happy. St. Kitts and Nevis, and this is a one-stage, one-health approach. So St. Kitts and Nevis, we have joined forces with respect to ensuring that the Federation represents itself well. And I have seen other conferences held here, and the feedback has been that we have provided crisp media coverage, we have provided hospitality, and the content and the outlook and feel of the conference have always been pegged as one that is memorable. And we certainly can say that this one in October will be no exception.
And that's it for the local segment of the news. We now turn our attention to regional news. Jamaica's disaster response system is under scrutiny after an audit revealed that only a small portion of the billions donated for Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts had been spent. A real-time audit report from the Auditor General's Department, tabled in Parliament on Tuesday, found that the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management had received 1.44 billion Jamaican dollars in donations by February 23, 2026, but spent just $26.2 million, or 1.8% by that date. The audit examined financial management and procurement under the government's Hurricane Melissa Relief Initiative and Roof Restoration Program. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis said the findings exposed weaknesses in financial oversight, governance, procurement monitoring, and beneficiary verification. And the Progressive Liberal Party, led by incumbent Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, has returned to power following the country's general elections on Tuesday. Early indications show the PLP are likely to win more than 30 of the 41 seats contested in the general election. Prime Minister Davis called the ahead of schedule as they were constitutionally due in October. Prior to the elections, the PLP held 32 of 39 seats, with 2 additional seats, however, were added on the recommendation of the country's Independent Constituencies Commission, with the PLP winning both. With the victory secured, Davis becomes the first Bahamian Prime Minister to win consecutive terms in 30 years. We now take a look at news on the international scene. Tensions escalated inside the Philippine Senate today after gunfire erupted during an attempt to arrest Senator Ronald De La Rosa. Authorities were seeking to detain De La Rosa following an International Criminal Court warrant accusing him of crimes against humanity linked to the country's deadly anti-drug campaign. Witnesses say bursts of gunfire were heard inside the Senate building, though it was not immediately clear what triggered the shooting or whether anyone was injured. De La Rosa, a former national police chief under ex-president Rodrigo Duterte, has been staying inside the Senate under the protection of political allies. The ICC accuses him of responsibility for the killing of at least 32 people between 2016 and 2018 during the government's anti-drug operations. De La Rosa has vowed to fight the warrant and has called on his supporters to gather outside the Senate. The operator of the cruise ship at the center of the recent hantavirus outbreak says a decision on whether the vessel will continue its upcoming sailing schedule is expected by the end of the week. The Dutch-flagged MV Hondius remains scheduled to begin a new cruise later this month before moving into a series of Arctic voyages during the summer season. However, Oceanwide Expeditions says it is still assessing the situation following the outbreak, which has been linked to 3 deaths. Health authorities have confirmed 9 cases of hantavirus associated with the ship, along with 2 suspected cases. More than 120 passengers and crew members were evacuated from the vessel in Spain's Canary Islands earlier this week and are now in isolation in several countries. The company had earlier indicated that it did not expect major disruptions to its operations, but says further clarity on the ship's status is expected in the coming days. We now take a look at the weather. Fair to partly cloudy conditions are expected across St. Kitts and Nevis over the next 24 hours, with only a moderate chance of a brief overnight shower. Today's high temperature will reach 32 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Fahrenheit, while the overnight low is expected to fall to 22 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Forecasters say relatively stable conditions associated with a ridge of high pressure will continue to limit significant shower activity across the area. Today will be partly sunny in general. Tonight will be fair to partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of a brief passing shower, mainly after midnight. Winds will be from the east at 19 to 33 kilometers per hour or 12 to 21 miles per hour. Seas will range between 1 and 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Sunset this evening will be at about 6:35, with sunrise tomorrow at around 5:40. That brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.